I need to tell you all something, and it's the most important thing I could ever say to you. In a little while, you'll know for certain that I'm putting my very life on the line and the safety of my family by sharing this with you. Now, I'm partly doing this to wash your blood off my hands because God saved my life on a midnight highway one fateful night for this very cause. And He's watching, as He clearly proved that night. See, I should be dead. My sleeping driver was hurling us toward a concrete wall at 100 kilometers an hour when an angel of God was sent to wake me up from a deep sleep with just a whisper. And for what? Not so I could win X Factor or buy that dream Porsche or marry that dream girl, but for this, so I can tell you something, so I can warn you about something. Nothing could be more important than this. Don't scroll down to the next post. Just stay with me. Most of you won't care for the shocking thing I'm about to expose to you because no one cares. No one cares. God is calling you, and He's looking for the last ones before the storm. Everything you're about to hear is a fact, and I'll prove it to you. I will leave no room for doubt, and nothing can stop what's coming. The Titanic is sinking, and it's unstoppable. All I'm going to do is point you to the life raft, and if you want to ignore me, then fine, proceed at your own peril. God knows I've tried. If you want to mock me, then at least share the video. Let others mock me too. Tell your friends. Check this freak out. Anything to help me reach someone. Now let me ask you something real quick. Who do you think, generally speaking, runs the world? What type of people are the leaders of our countries and corporations? And the rich and the famous too. I mean, like, are they Christians? Do Christians run the world? Well, no, of course not. Buddhists? No. Do Muslims run the world? No. Let me tell you something. All the leaders from Africa to Europe to the Middle East, Israel, Syria, Iran, all the way to the Americas, all these people, and we'll get to the celebrities in a second. What if I told you that they all belong to the same religion? A secret religion. One that none of them are allowed to talk about. One that you should worry about because it affects you beyond belief in ways that you never imagined. Before I tell you what this worldwide secret religion thinks of you and plans to do to you, let me tell you what this religion is. And how do I know about this religion? Because I used to belong to it. And today I'm renouncing it publicly, breaking my oath of silence, which they imposed upon me and every single other member during ceremonies under the penalty of death. That's why my life is in danger. Every person you're about to see has taken the same oath as I did, no matter where on earth they're from. No one else is going to tell you this. Not your favorite singer or politician who more than likely also belong to this hidden religion. Nowhere will they speak because they love it. They love their lives. They love their success. And then there are those who have left but have never broken their oath out of fear. Trust me, you don't know who you're messing with here. The few that have spoken out, well, they lost everything. Or either their reputations and livelihoods are threatened or destroyed, or they're framed for a crime and end up in jail, or they're murdered and made to look like an accident or suicide. Now, just for the record, the God that saved me, which God was that? Jesus Christ, of course, the one and only. And He's the only one they hate, along with His disciples. Now, please don't let the name of Jesus scare you off just yet, because if you're an atheist, you're especially going to want to hear this. And I'm only going to show you the tip of the iceberg. So brace yourself for the truth that has been hiding in plain sight every day of your life, and for the mind-blowing, out-of-this-world climax to this video. Now look at this. There's a few different ways they display their allegiance. They don't do it often, and some don't do it at all. The celebrities usually cover one eye, or hide it in some way, or emphasize it like this, or they close one eye, or peek through it, through this hand gesture, all to highlight one single eye. It's called the all-seeing eye. Other times they'll just display a drawn eye somewhere, or a tattoo of it. The other method they use is what's commonly known as the hidden hand. Here, for example, River Phoenix is doing both, the hidden hand and the all-seeing eye, so you can see the direct connection between the two. All of them are sworn to secrecy, under the penalty of death. And remember, I'll prove it to you. Here's former Prime Minister John Howard giving the secret handshake, Kevin Rudd bowing down to this bloke in front of Julia Gillard, all of whom are members of the religion. And here's Julia again. Now, I once heard Julia being asked in a brief interview on TV while she was the Prime Minister. The interviewer asked her, "What religion are you?" And she actually said, with a sinister smirk, "I'm a member of a secret society." Next question, please. So what's the name of this religion? Well, I'll tell you right now. But keep in mind, the magic word you're about to hear only hides the true religion inside of itself. That's how it's secretly flourished to spread like a cancer around the world. It's a religion within a fraternity. The name is this: Freemasonry. The square and compass, sometimes with a G in the middle and sometimes with the eye, the all-seeing eye. This is the same eye that these people are referring to. That's where it comes from. The eye is sometimes placed in a triangle, and that's where this comes from, the eye in the triangle. Here's Chris Angel doing it, standing also next to a mate with a square and compass shirt on. Not a coincidence. This is not something Jay-Z invented. This is the religion Jay-Z belongs to. The Freemasons also placed the eye at the top of a pyramid because the Egyptian pyramid is integral to their secret system. Here it is on Chris Angel's shirt and Madonna's jacket. It'll all come together and make sense really soon. Here it is hidden in plain sight at the Australian MTV Awards. And this is the MTV headquarters, by the way. Trust me, there's no doubting this. Prepare yourself for an incredible revelation and the amazing climax that comes at the end of this video. Now, this is where the Freemasons are counting on you to lose interest, or roll your eyes and move on. Because in their beliefs, the uninitiated, meaning you, are ignorant and stupid compared to them. You're technically called the vulgar and the profane. Please prove them wrong. Prove them wrong. And stay with me just a little longer. Now, the secret identity of this one eye lies in the heart of this religion that lives, breathes, feeds and grows deep inside of Freemasonry. And Freemasonry camouflages it very successfully until it ultimately fulfills a thing called the Great Work. That's what they call it. And they will succeed very shortly. Nothing can stop it now. Now, am I saying that this thing that's happening in the world isn't real? No, I'm saying this, spoken like a true Freemason. And do you remember this guy?
A safe place and a dangerous place. We must treat this new world order, this new world of COVID, we must treat this new world of COVID even in our own homes.
So what is this new world order that he accidentally mentioned? It's common language in Freemasonry, and it has been for a long time, for at least this long, since the US $1 bill. It's the ultimate goal of this religion, and I'll show you what the Great Work is, at any cost. And Australia, like every other country, is now up to its neck in this pyramidal, one-eyed occult religion. This is going to be so unbelievable to you that you probably won't believe it. Or if you're that far gone, if you really have lost touch with your own soul, you won't care. This is the oath they have to take. This is the oath that I took. And your favorite actors and singers, just about all your heroes, just about, even some of your relatives. So for those who are going to say, my grandfather was a Freemason and he was a great bloke, or don't the Freemasons run that retirement home? Just wait. But they're all under the oath of secrecy. Don't forget that, no matter who they are. Adele, Neil Finn, Chris Angel, or Scott Morrison. The oath comes first. And here it is. This is taken from an official Masonic publication, not intended for the public. In brief, I, of my own free will and accord, do hereby promise and swear that I will never reveal any of the secrets, arts, parts, point or points of the Master Mason's degree to any person or persons whomsoever. This I solemnly, sincerely promise and swear, under no less penalty than having my body severed in two, my bowels taken out and burnt to ashes, so no more remembrance be had of so vile and wicked a wretch as I. So now you know what they think of me. I'm a vile and wicked wretch for breaking my oath. Here's another penalty from another degree, this time from Richardson's Monitor of Freemasonry, a legitimate Masonic publication for instructing and laying out the ritual. Binding myself under no less penalty than having my throat cut across, my tongue torn out by the roots, and my body buried in the rough sands of the sea. These are the penalties they swear to. And yes, the lodge has penal authority to execute. This is how they look when they're initiated. They have to remove all their clothing and jewelry, including wedding rings, crucifixes, the most meaningful things to them, no matter what, because complete allegiance to the society is required. Sneaky, sneaky, huh? So when you see this, or this, you know for certain where it comes from and who they belong to. Look at Kramer on the front page of the privately circulated Freemason magazine. Officially a Mason, like fellow brother Tony Abbott, and he's doing this. That's a direct link to the mysterious all-seeing eye Freemasonry. There it is on the walls of the inside of a lodge room. So there's no reason to doubt that those who do this belong to this. This is another sign they do quite prominently. It's the sign of silence. This is from Richardson's Monitor of Freemasonry again. A finger over the lips. In this degree, the penalty is to have your whole body dissected, bowels removed and heart cut into pieces and thrown into a field, where you are eaten by animals, all to protect the secret religion of the rich, powerful and famous. Another thing that Masons will repeatedly say is that this has nothing to do with Freemasonry. Well, the 33rd degree Freemason of the century also wrote this book about 100 years ago, The Secret Destiny of America. And look at the front cover. It's disturbing, but it's also essential in understanding the near future and what's going to take place. So for the Freemasons that still say that this is not a Masonic design, especially this Masonic website called Masonic Info, insisting here that even the eye in the triangle or pyramid is not Masonic. Completely laughable and pure disinformation for the stupid masses. Try arguing against this. This is from a 1960 copy of the New Age magazine, an official organ of the Supreme Council of 33rd Degrees. Masonic symbolism in a $1 bill. Look at them all. 13 leaves, 13 bars, 13 feathers, so on and so forth, and of course, this, the Masonic all-seeing eye. Do you think J.K. Rowling isn't a Luciferian? In this article, J.K. Rowling reveals the inspiration behind the Deathly Hallows symbol. And what is it? The Masonic squaring compass, with the one eye. They're all members of the secret society. Here she is with her new tattoo. It says Solve Coagula. And where does it come from? Here, the Baphomet. The image of Lucifer has these words written on its arms. Solve Coagula. Here's another statue of the Baphomet at a satanic temple, doing the sign of the horned god Lucifer. And here's Barack Obama doing the same sign. And the sign of silence with a twist. Who do you think he's mocking here? You and I, but mainly Christians. Because Christianity is the one force that has stood between you and the inconceivable horror that is awaiting us and is on its way. Here's an article on Barack Obama, and that's his hands adjusting his presidential seal. And there's his Masonic ring, and the sign of the devil's horns. Over and over. Freemasonry and Satanism are intertwined. Look at these Masonic politicians throwing up the devil's horns. George W. Bush. Look how sneaky and sinister the look on his face is here, and the manner in which he's delivering the sign. Is he a fan of rock music? Is he saying I love you in sign language for the deaf, like some people like to say? This is his fraternal order called Skull and Bones, also known as the Order of Death, where you lie naked in a coffin with what's called a temple prostitute during initiation. Clearly a Masonic order, with this guy displaying the hidden hand of Freemasonry. In Stanley Kubrick's last movie before his death, he's telling you that all prominent members of industry, including politics, as the movie goes on to show, are members of a satanic secret society. In it, he shows the members engage in an orgy and feast after the ceremony of dedication to their horned god. To identify which secret society he's referring to, he leaves the clues in the artwork. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. The one-eyed religion. He knew that when we'd leave the cinema, we'd be commenting on the performance of Tom Cruise, or giggling about the orgy scene, or just being disappointed because the movie went too long, or some other meaningless critique, with eyes wide shut. Look at the cover of his other movie, A Clockwork Orange. The eye on top of the pyramid, and on his shirt, the word devil in Italian. And haven't we been slowly but surely perverted over time, degree by degree, until we think that the sick world of pornography is considered as liberating for women and men and protected by free speech? In California, babies are allowed to be aborted after birth because it's a woman's choice. A world where we should applaud young children like Desmond is amazing, cross-dressing while he dances for gay men at a gay bar on a podium because he's paving the way for the kids of the future. And we should get shamed, fined, and even jailed if we point out that this is sick, sinful, and dare call it evil, which is what it is. What spirit is behind Desmond is amazing? Oh yeah, an evil spirit, no doubt about it. There is no bigger axe that has ever been grinded than the one Freemasonry grinds, because the appearance of Jesus Christ pretty much destroyed their religion, drove it underground, and they will have their revenge. Soon you're going to see it. You want to know what the New World Order looks like? You want to know what the future holds? As Jesus told us, for then there will be great distress, unequaled from the beginning of the world until now, and never to be equaled again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Masonic New World Order. These are the mysterious Georgia Guidestones. They are a set of granite monoliths and funded by an unknown and anonymous group. On a ledger beside the monument is written, "Let these be Guidestones to an Age of Reason." The Age of Reason happens to be the title of a book by Thomas Paine. Thomas was a hater of Christianity. That's the second clue to the spirit behind the Georgia Guidestones. The third is the fact that the Guidestones feature as what could be seen as a replacement to the Ten Commandments of the Christian God, with the new Ten Commandments of the New Age. Maintain humanity at under 500 million. That's right, a reduction of at least 7 billion human beings would be necessary for that. The whole system is about to change, and it's not going into the future. It's actually going back into the past. And you'll walk straight into it, blind as a bat, thinking these people want to help you. They will appear as your saviors. According to a prediction by information technology and research advisory firm Gartner, 1/3 of jobs will be replaced by software by 2025. That's 4 years away. And by 2050, 80% of all jobs will be eliminated by automation. What on earth are you and your family good for then? The utopia is coming, but it ain't your utopia. You still think that by the measure of the minds of international Satanism, you should be kept around? No, no, no. The new age is dawning. And generally speaking, you're not invited. Remember that Charles Darwin, the Freemason, is listed as an influential figure in the Satanic Church. So, mass murder and mass death are natural and necessary themes in the name of evolution, an artificially induced evolution. If you still think that this phrase, New World Order, is a conspiracy theory, you're suffering from a medical condition. On the Lucis Trust website, the consultants to the European Union, you find the statement that the New World servers are occupied with the task of inaugurating the New World Order. In the same article, this shocking admission is made. 2/3 of humanity will stand upon the path at the close of this age, and with that, 1/3 will die. Or to put it surreptitiously, will be held over for later unfoldment. That's the Lucis Trust, the word Lucius being the replacement for the word Lucifer, who works hand in hand with the EU, the European Union, stating that 2.5 billion human beings are planned to be killed off, all predicted by Jesus, and only Jesus. And if you still think I'm joking or misleading you about what these people are and what they plan to do, here's a book written by the founder of the Lucis Trust, Education in the New Age. When a form proves inadequate or too diseased or too crippled for the expression of that purpose, it is, from the point of view of the hierarchy, no disaster when that form has to go. Death is not a disaster to be feared. The work of the destroyer is not really cruel or undesirable. Did you hear that? Through the all-seeing eye of Lucifer, the destroyer, for the purpose of the new world, death and mass murder isn't evil, it's good. In the Labours of Hercules, also tries to re-educate us and protect that God-forsaken number, predicted in the Gospels to be associated with evil. These people are all working toward and waiting for the world leader. The coming of the Avatar and the advent of the coming one are the keynotes of the prevalent expectancy. After everything I've shown you, are you going to ignore this? Or worse, are you going to trust these people, of whom were predicted to this very condemnation 2,000 years ago, right down to a one-world system, depopulation, and to the man who will carry the number 666, and with it implement a new system in which you won't be able to buy or sell unless you receive a mark in your hand or forehead. And what's just been announced by Business Insider? Cashless society. Due to this, by 2024. This is the manufactured trend for the world, and you better believe it's fulfilling biblical prophecy. You know that book that's been ripped out of schools and hysterically discredited? Billy's son, Franklin Graham, also won't ever expose Freemasonry because he's too busy eating at Voodoo Donuts, where they sell these donuts, these pentagram donuts. More Christian heavyweights like John Hagee or Hagee throwing up the devil's horns. He'll never preach against Freemasonry. Neither will all these world-famous pastors throwing up the devil's horns. The very popular Ray Comfort even stated that he wasn't a Freemason. Well, here he is, giving a perfect Masonic handshake with pastoral giant Joyce Meyer. One world government is a trap as foretold in the Bible, but Bono supports it. Oh yeah, he works for it, just like the Masonic Pope does. Now, do you think Freemasons aren't capable of mass murder? Well, Joseph Stalin murdered approximately 20 million people, and he was a Freemason, displaying the sign of the master of the second veil of Freemasonry. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Adolf Hitler, a Freemason, clearly giving the grip of a master mason. And here he sits next to his military leader, Hermann Göring, who is also displaying his allegiance to Freemasonry with a hidden hand. He even displays the Masonic triangle, just like fellow Masonic brother Jay-Z. Are you going to snap out of it now? When you see a beautiful sunrise and smell the fresh air, or hear a great song, or see a great movie, are you going to forget where you really are? When you hear people using Jesus Christ's holy name as a cuss word, are you going to forget where this phenomenon really came from? Now that you've seen how actual and bona fide the reality of 666 is from their own mouths and symbols, let me show you where else it's revealed. Do you see these Roman numeral numbers down here? They add up to 1776, the year that America officially became the country we know of today. And also the year of the birth of another secret society, which was absorbed into Freemasonry after it was banned in 1785. But look, the base numbers. M is 1,000, C is 100, and X is 10. All you have to do is subtract the base numbers. 1776 minus 1,000 minus 100 minus 10. Or simply remove the Roman numerals which represent the base numbers. No, I'm not playing tricks on you. Neither are your eyes. Now that you've seen the prevalence and seriousness of this horrid number, now that you've seen what you've seen, I can show you where else it appears. This figure is represented by the numbers. To make this work, they had to remove the number 1 altogether and separate the 2. Of course, we'd be too dumb to pick up on it. But 789 minus 456 is this, multiplied by this lonesome 2. This dark and mysterious figure is none other than the long-anticipated Antichrist, the ruler of the Saturnian kingdom, which is on its way. There are in fact 3 6s in the Google logo, which comes from this occult symbol, and here found in a Masonic lodge the square and compass symbol in the middle of a hexagram, which is a symbol used in the royal art of Freemasonry, witchcraft. Well, among other things, the hexagram itself can be broken down to quite clearly represent 666. This is a Masonic square and compass designed by the Manal Masonic Lodge, symbolizing world unity. Up the top you find the logo of the United Nations. Well, there are 33 segments in the UN logo, symbolizing the 33 degrees of Freemasonry. See this crop circle here, with the Masonic eye on top of the pyramid? I know nothing about crop circles and the phenomenon, but I know how many rays are coming off the eye. 33. The inverted pentagram makes for the spelling of the word Mason in the same seal. Well, that same pentagram with the elongated top horns appears here, in a European Union logo. Here's the European Union building architecturally mimicking the Tower of Babel. That was the very same tower that the God of the Bible destroyed thousands of years ago, according to the Bible, when Nimrod, one of the admitted founders of the original craft of Freemasonry, tried to unite the world under one world government. So this logo and this building design is a clear statement to the God who intervened the first attempt at a world government. Well, are you ready for the second biggest shock of all? Whatever you think of what you're about to see, please come see me on the other side of this so I can show you something. And keep in mind, the only reason I'm showing you this to you is because the writer and director of the preview of this movie-style documentary was murdered, along with his wife and his little daughter and his dog, all before the production could begin. The murder was made to look like a murder-suicide, the news of which never made national broadcasts, just the local news. Case closed, nothing to see here. You have to ask yourself why. After so many movies with a dystopian, World War, totalitarian type theme, why was this movie so dangerous? That a whole family would be murdered. Well, it's this.
series part of Grey State's conceptual trailer is this character here, who appears to be operating a guillotine. David Crowley was very intentional in this frame of the movie. He added something that I believe he wanted the people to know about. If you look closely, the executioner wears a Freemason apron. He is telling us that the organization behind the French and American revolutions, the organization behind the Trail of Tears and the deaths of thousands of Native Americans under Freemason Grandmaster Andrew Jackson, the organization behind Hiroshima and Nagasaki during 33rd degree Freemason Harry Truman's presidency. These are men with a radical revolutionary agenda throughout the entire world.
And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and authority to administer justice was given them. And I saw the souls of those who had been beheaded, because of the testimony they bore of Jesus, and because of the word of God. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2021, like the smartphone or the smartwatch, this is called the Smart Guillotine, built by Chanel. What on earth does a perfume company have to do with chopping people's heads off? Well, here's their logo. There is an eye in the design. And have you seen their drip design? How odd. Another ball that's rolling are the 7 universal Noahide laws. They sound great from the outside, designed so to conceal some terrifying details on the inside. Here's the bill and resolution. It was named Education Day. As you can see in the details of Resolution HJ 104, they are the 7 Noahide laws, resolved by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in 1996. Every single president since H.W. Bush has annually re-signed this resolution. Many world leaders have called for the acknowledgement and observance of the 7 Noahide laws, including the President of the European Union in July 2014, and this will be international law. The law against idol worship will include, quite specifically, the worship of Jesus Christ as the Son of God, which the Noahide laws will classify as blasphemy, and the punishment for transgressing the 7 Noahide laws and for blaspheming the ineffable name of God by calling Jesus God is decapitation. This will be governed by a world court with no possibility of appeals. Who do you think is truly behind these laws? Here is the bill being signed into law by H.W. Bush. Here is their signature hidden in plain sight, the hidden hand of Freemasonry. Who do you think designed the guillotine in the first place? This guy, Joseph Guillotine, a Freemason. People who believe that Lucifer is God run the world from top to bottom. They make the movies, they star in the movies, they write the songs, they sing and dance, and they practice witchcraft. Why do they do that? Because witchcraft is real and has been since before civilization began. And who waged a war on witchcraft on your behalf? God did. If Jesus was a myth, Luciferians wouldn't be working overtime to inadvertently fulfill every prophecy that Jesus gave us. If Jesus wasn't real, why do former Satanists freely admit that only the true Christians are immune to witchcraft? The second shock was the oaths they take and the rituals they perform. Decapitated heads, brains exposed to the sun, drinking wine from human beings' skulls, all done by the people you respect the most. Better start fearing, like you fear a cop and like you fear a judge. Oh, I know you tremble in front of them, but you don't fear God? But if God was real, why wouldn't he just show himself? Show himself to who? To you? You can't even get on your knees and repent. You can't even hate sin. So why would he? But if God was real, what about all the other gods? What other gods? Did Buddha perform a miracle for you? Were his followers stoned to death, sawn in half, eaten alive? Did historians of his era leave any trace of him? Did he prophesy all the kingdoms that would appear on earth? And in what order? Did he foretell of worldwide floods, of enemies that would despise his followers, use his name as a cussword, and eventually attempt to set up a world kingdom? Did his appearance change the calendar and predict that his appearance would in fact change the calendar? What did the Prophet Muhammad do for you? Apart from stealing Jesus from billions of people and corrupting the Gospels, did he dedicate his entire life to sinlessness? No, he didn't. Instead, he had 11 wives, and one of them was 9 years old, and he lived like a king, while the real king lived like a slave, and died like one too, and washed the feet of his disciples while demons trembled at his name and presence and still do. Did anyone else apart from Jesus Christ ever say the words, I am the truth? I've heard of I know the truth, I have the truth, but I am the truth? That doesn't even make sense, unless truth itself was once upon a time born on earth as a man, and your religion is futile. But for you, remember the advantage that evil has over good. A little good doesn't destroy evil, but a little bit of evil destroys all good. You think the soul can't be stained? So you can't go where life is stained with death? I used to be a liar. I used to be a pervert. I used to smoke all kinds of poison. I used to. But no more. He called my name for the last time. He took my dog, then my music. He took my band, broke it all, flooded me clean. He sent for me. He woke me up from a deep sleep because he knew I had it in me. Risk everything so I can take a stand for him, for the Gospels, and for you. Well, this is me taking a stand.